Okay, day 4 of connecting with my galactic family. You think it would get easier, but maybe I'm just having an off day. I am still getting information, but it didn't feel that deeply connected. But this is what I saw. I saw I was an alien in a room. I don't know if there was a fire here or not, but there was a kind of like maybe windows. It felt like it was stone and clay, kind of like in the Middle East or something. And then this, I kind of looked like Harry from the Resident Alien Residence show. So this alien here, that's what I look like. More smooth though. It didn't have like the ridges around the face. It was a completely uniform, smooth head. So that's what that looked like. And then I saw a bunch of people sitting, listening to me. I was like talking to them. I was trying to get a feel for it. I didn't know if I was like a poet reading a poem, or if it was a town meeting and I came up here to talk or whatnot. But I think I was a teacher. And I was like, okay, are these humans or other aliens? And they looked like humans. And then I asked, do they see me as an alien or do they see me as one of them? And then I saw this like projection in front of me. So I'm thinking they saw me as a human to look like them, but I was a teacher, and I think I was just teaching them divinity within themselves, that the power is within themselves, and that they don't, basically it was like when they used to teach history via word of mouth. When you sit around a campfire, that's kind of like the vibe that I was feeling. And so I was just teaching information to these beings about divinity and the power within. And then they showed me a map of cave systems. So this was underground. And so this was a time period where people were living underground. And that's like how you get in, I guess. And then these are all different chambers and rooms. And it was really big and complex, but this is just a basic, easy visual that I saw. And so um, I saw myself get older. This is me drawing an old man. I'm still the alien, but my projection now looks older. And I am, I've been there for a while, teaching generations after generations. And I saw myself like really shining a bright white golden light. And so what I can like basically relate that to the energy I was feeling, like just imagine like how people say the saints have like a vibration or frequency to them, and that's basically what that was. It's just vibing at a higher frequency with all the knowledge and embodying that knowledge and information and then teaching it. So it's just white and golden light. And I would go around and just see the kids, visit with different areas of the underground community, and just kind of lifting people's spirits. You know how like I don't believe in the Pope and whatnot. But like if the Pope went and shook hands and like went to visit a bunch of people in cities, that's basically what I was doing in here. And then I saw myself laying in a bed and a being that looks like this showed up. I could see the ears. I couldn't really make out the face. Black hair that looked like this, very long. And the skin was like gray, very light, shiny, but like dark. It was like gray, and I could really make out the ears and the black hair that was really long. And I think this is kind of, can't really remember the body, but I think this is what it looked like. So I was like, okay, what's going on? Why is this thing visiting me? It doesn't look like my kind, because I look like that. And so basically it's just a messenger telling me that it's close to my time. And so I lay on my bed and I see myself, my soul energy self, getting lifted up, floating up. And I can't tell if I make it to source or if I make it to the aircraft that I usually get to as an alien. But on my way to wherever I think I'm going, which I'm not even sure, I see this creature latch onto me. It's huge and it latches onto me and it wants to basically take my energy. And then I had to call out my galactic family because in a previous past life experience, I was an alien fighting galactic wars too. And there's an alien race in a past life as a human. This creature had sucked all of my energy out from my neck. At that point I had given up. That's why I was able to do that. The town wasn't listening to me. I was scared. I was living in fear. I had no mentors or teachers. And so this thing was able to catch me and drain my energy. And then that turned out that there was an alien race that I had made contracts with that allowed them to stifle my energy. But now that now I rescind that and I close the contract, I'm no longer allowing that. And so my galactic team had to help build a shield around me so that they couldn't harvest from soul aspects of myself. So they had to build a shield because they did not want to stop taking my energy. And so I saw that they were attempting to do it again. So I had to ask my galactic family and they had to shield me and basically blast this being away and blast me away so that they can't find it. So then I'm like, okay, where am I going? Am I going back to source or what's going on? And they brought me back to day 1, back to this guy here where I was this alien wearing that like head helmet, kind of like astronauts have a helmet, and working with the commander. So they brought me back there And I come out from the chamber because that's where I left off on day one. I was in the chamber connecting to different aspects of myself. And then I'm basically sent to the ship to kind of make my rounds, checking up on people, checking on the plant life, just checking up on my section of the ship. Some people were trying to overthrow me. I felt like there was a knife put to my neck. And then the commander came. and, and remember, that's the commander. That's what the commander looked like. So basically, the commander came and then like used its energy to like whoosh, teleport them into jail cells. Well, they went to jail cells and then they were teleported out to different areas of the galaxy that they wouldn't be able to hurt me. And it turns out I have a relationship with the commander. It's like my mentor, teacher. It felt like a grandma, someone who's very wise, teaching me very closely because they needed, to have that close relationship with me. And it turns out they want me to take one of their eggs. It was huge. It was like the size of my chest. They wanted me to take this egg, and I later find out that I was going to be mentor to this egg. So this egg will grow up to be a commander. It's the same species as the commander, and they wanted to do an experiment. So basically, the experiment was taking that egg, shipping it to a far area where they don't have any of their kind there. And so I had to teach it and mentor it based on what the mentor taught me. And it hatched, and it was like little teenager, toddler, and then it was a young adult. It was the last memory or scene that they showed me when I was in there. And basically I had to teach it, and then it also was connected to the whole species, so it has all the information of all the other beings all around the place. They're all connected, kind of like a hive mind, but they wanted it to have individualism, so to grow away separate from their colony and to be taught by me, which is not their kind, wasn't their kind of alien, in a far place that has none of their beings there. And so it was for observation. They were trying to see how that turned out. It was for experimentation. It wasn't punishment or anything. It wasn't trying to like be mean, like have like an immoral experiment. They just really wanted to know because they're observers and they're trying to just gather a bunch of data. And so that's why they sent it out there with me to help mentor it. I did see a scene where like it was like a teenager, and it was like it has tentacles, so it's like hitting me, swapping me around the room, and I was like, I'm okay. It doesn't hurt me, but we're like fighting like how you would have a teenage child, and you're kind of just fighting like that. And so I saw that, but basically it was just saying, trying to teach how to navigate that transition and that space of like trying to figure out who you are when you have a whole colony and information and connection to your species and your history, and then also trying to become your own person, individualism, and how does that play together? How do you get it to play together? How do you find that balance? And sadly I was kind of stuck as being a teacher mentor to this being who is like struggling to find identity, which I am struggling to find my identity right now in my